Awarded 3 men in Pender County millions of dollars after a defamation trial involving a national civil rights law firm.
WECT's Zach Solon has details on the lawsuit and the incident that made national headlines.
In 2020, Austin Wood and then New Hanover County Sheriff's Deputy Jordan Kita were accused of terrorizing a family while searching for Kita's missing sister. The two men were found not guilty on all criminal charges related to the incident. As the case played out, the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights under Law allegedly posted several statements calling the incident racially motivated, garnering the incident national headlines.
And those included things such as social media posts by the defendant referring to my folks as white supremacists, drawing comparisons to my client's actions as those of the KKK night rides and lynch mobs of the Jim Crow era.
The D.C.-based law firm eventually ended up representing the family involved in the incident, but Wood, Kita, and Kita's father later filed suit against the law firm, saying its statements were defamatory.
This one, though, deserved to be pursued to hold this law firm accountable for their actions that essentially forever stained and ruined my clients' reputations in their standing in the community.
Grady Richardson represents the three men. He says a jury heard the case over the past several weeks and found the statements were defamatory. The jury awarded the men $2 million each, but Richardson says the case will be settled outside of court.
Obviously, there's a monetary component behind it, but really importantly for my client's sake is the fact that the defendant is going to issue a public written letter and statement of apology, and they will be posting that on their website.
We reached out to the Lawyers Committee for comment, but have not yet heard back. Zach Solon, WECT News.
County leaders want to help save school jobs.